Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Kustoms. Today, in this video, we're going to be tackling exhaust manifolds for the Area 51 project. Let's take a look. Been pondering this for a little while, like how I'm gonna deal with exhaust manifolds, and bought a couple of sets of second-hand ones, two different styles, like a center dump kind of goes off that way, and these rear dump ones. And I've found out that they're made from cast steel, not cast iron, so they're weldable, so they fouled up with my chassis rails and body mounts and stuff like that. So I'm going to have a crack at cutting them and welding a little extension on, take them down just under the toe board on the firewall, and then put new flanges on and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I haven't got a lot of money in them, so it's no great loss. I don't really want to do sort of tube headers and stuff like that. That'll be just as much of a mission as doing this, to be fair, finding something that'll fit. So let's have a look, see how we go. What I'm planning on doing is cutting them, obviously, and then welding a piece of tube, exhaust tube in. So hopefully they'll still flow okay. I'm not really worried about it too much, but probably flow just as good as these factory things anyway. Yeah, so we'll have a crack at it, and I have noticed that both sides are slightly different from each other, so we'll can have different battles to contend with from one side to the other, so they won't be exactly the same, but that's okay because my motor's slightly offset in this car anyway, so we'll see where this takes us. Might start on this one first. Even though I've cut this one, I might start on this one because that's the tighter side, and that's going to be probably the trickier one to get to fit nice. So let's have a look. So this is what I've got to contend with. This is the trickier side. Squeaking is the tyre rubbing. So I'm probably gonna have to cut a bit more relief out of this body mount brace thingy bob, and then sort of bring the kind of collector tube down on this kind of angle. Obviously I'm gonna have to cut the tubing on quite a sort of steep angle, and then shape it to fit the contours of the manifold as it sits at the moment. Then I'm going to try and make it look not ugly-ish. Probably not. Anyway, let's go. So, clearanced out that sort of bits of the body mount thingy bob. Just roughed out at the moment, but it's just as long as I can get this in there, and once we get the body off and the motor out of the way, then I can get in there and tidy all that up when we get in there and tidy all the rest of it up. But for now I just need to be able to do some of this. figure out where that's going to land. Kind of want to point it down a little bit more, I think. My angles are all just guessed at the moment, just using the ichrometer. But if I can get that down around there, that would probably be about right. What's the head? I might go and get a drawing stick back in the seat. If I shave about that much off that bottom edge, that might get me within cooey, and then I'll have to squish this up a bit, clean off the soot from the old exhaust system, maybe square up that end as well. Probably be a smart thing to do. Seeing if I can go in my top. Why does that look different now than it did before? Maybe that might kind of now I'm confused. Alright, let's trim up and see how we go. Probably a better tool for doing this. Just sort of flaring out this end, trying to create that kind of shape on the end. Just essentially beating it into submission with a hammer and my little vise, but it'll get cleaned up. Don't worry about that. This is just trying to get it into rough shape and see if we can get it to fit a bit nicer than that. A little bit of trimming, a little bit more hammering, and might tack it on anyway and see whether it's going to land where it needs to land in the car. So I wonder if I should tack it on now. Thought I'd just better let you know I did clean up the inside of this first. Here's my little dog. Here's Ty. Hey Ty. Hello puppy. Hey guys. Well, I was tacking up the manifold, and I had some problems with the tacks. They keep breaking, not the surrounding metal but the actual tacks. So I was tacking it with a MIG, and you know, I'd sort of been doing it, but I've never welded cast steel before, so I thought I'd do a bit of online research. So I jumped on some of the LS swap forums and the turbo forums and that, and there were guys talking about how they did it, and some were preheating, some were just sending it and you know, claiming good results for years and years and years. But I don't know whether it was just the tacks and the heat kind of, you know, having parts of it cooling off at different rates and stuff like that, and other bits tight, and it was breaking some of the tacks and that anyway. So I thought I'll jump onto the TIG and that, you know, different kind of tensile strength of steel and things like that. So I used the old Tiggulator and got some mild steel rod and started trying to tack it with that, but I had the same problem. So I tack a few bits and I ended up kind of giving it a whack, and I was breaking it all off again. So I ended up with a real messy thing with bits of old tack. So I had to clean it all up again and I managed to get a couple of tacks to hold, and I thought, oh well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I grabbed some stainless, I think it's 304 stainless tick rod, I don't know where it is, so somewhere, and ended up just welding the whole thing home with some stainless rod, and that seems to have worked. And let me tell you, this was a whirlwind of emotions. I came into it pretty confident, thinking, oh yeah, I've read on the line that you can just weld it and it's good to go. And being a bit of a greenhorn welder anyway, but and then the next emotion was this kind of little bit of swearing and tears and things like that. So I didn't record any of that because this is a family channel. And then into the when I started hitting it with the old stainless wire, I started my level started lifting back up again, which was I was pretty excited. And so ultimately it seems to have worked, and I've sort of bashed it around a bit, which have now dented all the end of it, but that's alright, it's going to get trimmed up. And I can't seem to get it to break, but I guess the true test will be, will it hold up to the heat and cooling and expansion and contraction and stuff when the engine's actually running and things like that. But for now, I'm going to do the other side. Worst case scenario, I have to figure out some other kind of exhaust manifold or headers or something like that. Like I said earlier, haven't got a lot of money in these headers or these manifolds, so it's no kind of like major financial loss if it doesn't work and it doesn't hold up. So a lot of these turbo guys are having good results welding these manifolds on the LSs, and yeah, they'll be running a whole lot more heat through them than what I will be. So we'll get on to the other side. I'll quickly show you this one first, and let's have a look. So there we have it. This is my little extension that I've welded on down here, so you can possibly see the bastion end down here now. But yeah, I'll cut that off squarer so I can put a flange of some sort. I'm not going to use V-bands because I haven't got any, and yeah, then but I'll do the other side first, and then I can get them both pretty much the same, and then sort out the flanges. Excuse my mess. Okay, so I've TIG welded up the second side, just went straight into it with stainless filler rod. As you can see, I'm not the greatest at TIG welding, but it went way better than it did on the other side. So I cranked up the heat a little bit in the TIG, just sort of, you can see that high spot there. I sort of thought maybe it was a little bit cold, and I could see in one of the gaps and it wasn't really that deep. So I cranked it up a little bit to do the bulk of the welding, and yeah, overall pretty happy with that. I might grab a dead blow hammer and give it a couple of wallops with that and see whether I can kind of crack it. Hopefully not. And yeah, like I said earlier, ultimately it'll come down to what it's like under normal daily use, or sort of situations with expansion and contraction with the exhaust temperatures and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of back to being optimistic again, but I'm pretty sure there's someone out there who will kind of maybe jump on the comments down below and sort of say, you can't weld cast steel like that and mixing filler rods and things like that. But maybe you can't, but it kind of worked. So we shall see. Like I say, worst case scenario, scrap them and make something else for exhaust manifolds. So just a little update. Gave it a few wallops with the old dead blow hammer. Can't seem to get it to crack. Didn't hit it too hard because I don't really want it to crack. And give it a little bit of a clean up with the old flapper disc and the power finger over there, and I'll hit it a bit more when I clean this up, because I'll spray some of that heat paint stuff on all this once I've done the flanges and that. Probably figured I'm all about conservation and recycling and stuff, so I got some flanges here that I recycled from some old exhaust experiment from the old bomb truck, and some stainless flanges which will go on to the stainless heat pipes that I recycled from the old bomb truck exhaust experiment as well. So basically cut them off, clean them all out, and now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to fit them on the extensions on the manifolds. Look, I was cutting up the stainless exhaust, found this inside it. Don't know what it is. It's a little springy thing. I'll probably throw it away. But anyway, might put it in my junk box. It might turn into something else one day. But anyway, let's have a look at this and we'll figure out where we're going to put these flanges on the kind of little short extensions. Okay, we're over here on the driver's side. If you can see down in there, I'm going to put these on the end here. I've just got to figure out how high up I want them. If I make them quite long, I could then possibly put the O2 bung in here where there's kind of nothing in the way, you know, so the O2 sensor can stick here and not get knocked around and whatnot by other little adventures. Yeah, so now I just have to figure out whether I've got enough material on both sides to keep them even. That's what I'd like to do. So I'll get some measuring and marking, and then I can take these off and trim them up and weld them on, I reckon. So I've got my flanges all tacked on and just had them back on and off, just making sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and that I can get them in and out, and I can still get them in. So that's really good. I hate to kind of weld all these together and then realise I can't actually put them back in the car. So just going to TIG them all up now, and then that'll be them pretty much done, other than giving them a clean up and some what do you call it, heat-proof paint stuff. I don't know, heater paint, there it is. Okay, so got both of those welded up. Flanges welded on the end of those little heater pipey things that I've welded onto the manifolds. Starting to get the hang of this tigulator little thing, actually, especially on bigger stuff and stuff where there's a bit more sort of weight into it and I don't blow through it. But yeah, come have a look, come see. See. Okay, so that's the flange sort of welded on. This is that alley clad stuff, so I'm not sure whether you can weld through it, but I've ground it off anyway. Still not real even, but not bad for a greenhorn, I reckon. Someone might tell me different, but as long as it doesn't break and fall off, it should be alright. Probably hot as hell, actually. Did not get carried away. And there's the other one over there, all done as well. Sure. Okay, so everything's all cleaned up and ready for some of this. I'll use some of this Duplicolour high heat. Why? Because I had it on the shelf. I've used it on what did I use it on? Use it on some ram's horn manifold, and they're still black. And on a 383, so this is what we're going to use. Okay, there we have it. Still drying. Probably be a little while, getting a bit cool this time of year. But on the whole, pretty happy. Alright guys, thanks for making it to the end of another DMAT Kustoms video. Good job, good effort. Hopefully maybe we learned something on this little project on modifying LS manifolds. It was a pretty emotional time at times. Didn't record all of that because of the swearing and the crying and stuff, but got there in the end, and overall pretty happy with my result. Got a little bit more time on the old TIG, which is always good. But yeah, I'm just about out of gas now, so I can't really do much more on that until I get the bottle filled up again. So if you want to see some more videos from DMAT Kustoms, some more progress on the Area 51, and got some other bits and pieces coming up on the old bomb truck, and some other events and stuff coming up in the near future, well, in the future. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, don't be a pussy, and like, comment, share. Yeah, till then, till the next one. I don't know what we're going to do next. Next video is going to be about, but sure, I'll think of something. Anyway, take it easy. Peace, peace. Wow, that's sharp.